I just don't believe it. I actually do not believe it. He has been absolutely robbed. Absolutely robbed. I mean, UEFA need to just sort it out. Deary, deary me. Hello, and today we are doing my Euro Fantasy 2020 preview for Matchday 3 and a little review of Matchday 2 to add to the excitement. So let's first of all look back at Matchday 2. Now, it was not good, basically. 75 points from Matchday 1. We were loving life. We were like, yeah, man, this new game, I'm loving it. And yeah, it just kind of went downhill a little bit. So there's a few things I got to go through. First of all, Matchday 1, the captaincy. Love it. Lukaku, 20 points. We'll take a bit of that. Then Alioski gets 0 points. Yellow card and concedes 3. So you're like, all right, fair enough, Alioski. Denier gets 0 points, doesn't play. Nightmare. Hirodeki, 13 points. So then we were like, no, why didn't we sub Hirodeki in for Donnarumma, even though Donnarumma had 6 points? It is what it is. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. We come along to this week. We play the Limitless chip. And with Limitless, you can buy anyone you want with as much money as you want. And we go for the option of, actually, yeah, tell you what, we're going to start our original goalkeeper that plays before. Unlike the Hirodeki one. Well, actually, no. Just like the Hirodeki one, because Donnarumma had played on the Friday night, then Hirodeki on the Saturday, and Pickford played on the Friday night as well, and Lloris played on the Saturday. So we thought, yeah, great shout. And this time, it worked, all right? It was not ideal in Matchday 1 because I don't know what happened there. I mean, a penalty save in that Eriksen game, you know, it's just like, it's a very unprecedented situation. So you can't really say much about that at the end of the day. So yeah, missing out on 7 points, all right, whatever. But then this week, we got it the right way round. You love to see it. We went for Pickford. He got the clean sheet. He made a great save. I'm not sure about save points because, you know, he made one save, perhaps, as it's classified on the game. But I thought he had a really good game. He didn't get any bonus points, or at least other points. There's no bonus points in this game. But other points for his saves, no, it was just 6 points. All right, well, it does what it says on the tin. It's solid. We're happy with that. And we thought, nah, surely we don't need to sub in Lloris because obviously that loses the 6 points for a player who's already done their job. And it did, of course, be the case because Hungary, absolute legends, they go and score against France. And, yeah, it was a very interesting game for Lloris. He did, of course, make 2 saves, but that wasn't enough to get any extra points. And conceding in the very late on stage of that first half, unbelievable. I mean, the mistake there from France is that they've underestimated Hungary, and it was a really good goal, to be fair. The give and go and the finish was perfect from the Hungary man. I forget who it was. Apologies, but the celebration was madness. You know, jumping on the table, and the person reporting for Hungary, or the media presenter and the media collector, she was so bewildered. She was like, "What are you doing?" Anyway. But that was a bit mad. So then we bench Hernandez, and I'm fuming because we brought him on, and we had him on the bench because we knew the France game was on the last day. And then, just frustrating Didier Deschamps. Why you play Luca Digne there, I'm not sure, because Hernandez was one of your best players against Germany. What a great performance it put in. The assist was amazing. But no, he benches him. And, yeah, he doesn't come on. So it's 0 points. We have only 10 players playing out of 11. Nightmare. I at least hope for something. Maybe he comes on and gets an attack and return, but he never got subbed on. I mean, I guess you were chasing the game at 1-0, so you're not going to bring on a defender, but I was just hoping that, you know, we'd get lucky in some way. But no, my Euro 2020 Fantasy Matchday 2 Limitless team was not good. Not good at all. So yeah, we have obviously already done our Matchday 1 review, but this is the Matchday 2 review. So to carry on from this, let's talk about that team then, shall we? Because we had Lukaku up front with Harry Kane. And it turns out neither of those started or ended the team in the 11. So with Kane, he just didn't play well. And it was just this week, we had captaincy blank after blank. It was just so annoying. So Matchday 1, Insigne against Switzerland. Great captaincy shout. What does he do? It's 3 points. Nothing. Okay, that's fine. 6 points. We'll take it off him. We'll move it on to Wijnaldum on Saturday. All right, you can say, fair enough, you should have had Gareth Bale. Or you can say, you should have captained Yarmolenko. At least we owned Yarmolenko, but we should have captained him. All right, but he wasn't a big captaincy contender. On a week when you're playing Limitless, you want to target the big money players who can get those big hauls, who can really be quite explosive. But Yarmolenko, 10 points. All right, lovely for us, but not so lovely because a lot of other people captained him. And, you know, I'm coming to learn now that 10 points to get you to 20 is sufficient enough because you don't get many big hauls in this game. So, yeah, it's a shame. It is what it is. But we put our faith in Wijnaldum, and he actually played so well, but it doesn't get fantasy points because he doesn't get goals. So, yeah, that's a shame. But then we move it on to the next day. We move it on to Friday's games, and we do it on Harry Kane, and he does nothing. All right, fine. It's all right. We've still got Mbappe, and we move it on to him. He gets 2 points. It's an absolute joke, right? Because Kylian Mbappe, number one, just like Wijnaldum, he was playing out of his skin. He was getting in so many attacking positions, and he was taking on that Hungary defence. But he gets an assist. Like, I don't understand how UEFA have robbed him of this, and that's why I was complaining about it at the start of the video. That is an assist. I don't care. I know that you say, oh, he's got a little touch on it from the Hungary defender, but it's still his pass. He's trying to get it to Griezmann, and they say, no, it's not an assist. I mean, it's just a joke. He's been absolutely robbed there, and, you know, at least something for a return for a captaincy. You know, that would have been nice. I was hoping to get 10 or above, try and match Yarmolenko or get even more than that, because, you know, it was going to really hurt some of my mini leagues to not have a captaincy. And obviously with Mbappe, it was my last shot because all the previous ones had failed. But yeah, we're robbed of an assist there, which could be vital and could be a bit detrimental to our team. But it's still not very good. It's not good at all, our team this week. So despite Pickford's 6 points, in defence, we did have a lot of impressive stuff. And at the time of filming, I've still got one player to go, and that is Jordi Alba against Poland. But the defence has been good so far, bar Hernandez. So obviously Hernandez didn't play, but Spinazzola does what he says on the tin. 6 points. Of course we want those attacking returns. That's why we brought him in. But it didn't happen this week. Dumfries, he is the hero of the week, though, for my team. Absolute legend. I mean, this guy, he scores 2 goals in 2 games. What a beast. 14 points. Thank you very much. Gets the assist as well. It's not the assist technically because you get awarded points differently for winning a penalty. But he set up the chance for Depay to stuck away, to put away. And yeah, got 2 points for that. Gets the clean sheet. 14. You love it. You really do. And he doubles what he got in the first week. So it's been an unbelievable, start so far for Dumfries. I didn't have him week 1, but I saw that game against Ukraine. He's such a threat, and thought might as well go for it. And that was a great buy. So I'm loving that one. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's not ideal from Netherlands because we captained Wijnaldum, and he did play well. He had a chance where, he had a shot where it was blocked, and also a chance to get in behind, and the pass from Depay wasn't quite good. But it's a shame. 3 points, gets a clean sheet for the midfielder, but it's really not good. Then the whole rest of the team, bar Lorenzo Insigne, they all returned. So that's really good. Insigne basically did a carbon copy of what Wijnaldum did because, of course, we captained both of them. But Yarmolenko, say what you like, he doesn't get the points as the captain, but it's still a great thing to see. Obviously, there was a lot of regrets for me this week, and that's as simple as that, really. It was frustrating to just miss out on a lot of points that I knew I could have got at the end of the day because, I had the capability. I had some of the points in there, but it was just frustrating. And, it is what it is. You got to just take it on the chin sometimes. But Berardi, for instance, we had him match day 1. We limitless him out. He gets an assist, and Signe does nothing. And it's the same thing for Alioski, who we just mentioned earlier about match day 1. The week that we get rid of Alioski, he goes and scores. The week that we get rid of Denier, he actually plays. All right, fair enough, he was awful and gave away the goal for the first one against Denmark. But it's just like, why? Come on, man. So, yeah, I'll admit, I made a mistake here because I was jumping the gun a bit. I should have waited till the team news for France, but I just, didn't have any thought that Hernandez would be benched, and he was. So it was too late by then to sub him back out again because I took off Kane for Hernandez and I took off Meunier, I took off Lukaku. They all got 2 points, basically, the players on my bench. So in that respect, I benched the right people, apart from Hernandez, but it's just like, you got to take it on the chin at the end of the day. I think when you look at it, the best captaincy options for this week were the ones that I went with, but Yarmolenko was the differential that everyone kind of hopped on because of the fixture, and by not going for it, it did hurt me a bit. It did. But it is what it is. Immobile, I was going to get him as well, but then I never did, and he got another goal outside the box as well, just to rub the salt in the wounds. So, yeah, a lot went wrong, basically. to say things shortly, Perisic was the man, though. I nearly captained him as well, but even then, I was looking for 3 attacking returns. I thought Wijnaldum could get it. I thought Kane could get it. Perisic didn't, which is, not too bad, but it's still a great goal, and you would have liked a bit more from Perisic, but still, we'll take the 7 points. Fantastic individual goal, and it did actually reset what I already had. I was on 40, and then it went back to 47, which I was already on originally before I went onto the Kane captaincy. So, yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Hazard, of course, not starting. I kind of felt that might happen after I transferred him in. I was like, oh, is he going to play? But then I could just sub him off. But then I waited. I just waited patiently. And he did, of course, return with the assist off the bench. I'm pretty happy with that. 4 points, considering. And then Mbappe, 4 points as captain. I can't even change the captaincy now because it's too late. But it is what it is. 57 points. It's a complete reverse around of what we got last week in terms of the digits. 75, 57. Say what you like. But basically, I gained no points on the day of Sunday's games because I was on 57 before. I take off Kane. That's 2 away. And then I captain Mbappe. That's an additional 2. And then I don't get any from Hernandez. So we're still on 57. That's why I've got to pray that Jordi Alba does something for me. Gets like a hat-trick as a fullback. I know, it's not going to happen, but I don't care. Just not a good week at all. But Matchday 3 comes around, and alright, there's a lot of regrets this week of players who scored points and didn't do anything. But this week is a new week. It's a fresh start. It's a blank sheet. Let's get a much better bit of writing on it. Let's blot the right ink in the right fashion to get the points for Matchday 3. So, we've made some big changes, we've made some big moves, and we've activated the wild card. That's right, this one is unlike Limitless, it stays for the rest of the tournament, or at least for as long as you want it when you transfer out players. Now, I realise this is my last chip, I've blown them, alright? But it's not blowing them because, alright, yeah, maybe you can say I didn't, effectively utilise the Limitless chip. That's just a matter of picking big players and then not performing. But I think I have utilised this chip well, and it was always going to be the right order to do it because you had to target fixtures in Matchday 2, and you've also got to target long term as well. And alright, the fixtures are quite good as well this week for me, but you've got to think about Matchday 3 and rotation because you've got a lot of teams, or at least a few teams, who are already looking at the future games. They're through already. Italy, Belgium. You've got a few of those. So if Portugal can win against Germany, they'll be one of those. There's options here for players who might not play or players that will play, but we've just got to pray that we get the right balance, basically. So this is still possibly going to change, but this is the team I've got right now. On my wild card, we've changed a few things. Obviously, it got reset to the previous team from match week 1 that I got 75 points from. So in terms of comparing that Matchday 1 team to the Matchday 3 team, let me tell you which players we've kept on. So we've kept Pau Torres from Spain because, you know, Spain get a few clean sheets. He's a bit of a solid defender. And, alright, he's not shown it yet, but he has got attacking potential, I believe. Then we've also kept on Cristiano Ronaldo. Why not? He can score in any game. He's the GOAT, and he wants to get revenge for the final in 2016 when he couldn't show his stuff against France. I still think that France team, there's a weakness in there, and that was evident against Hungary, so we can really get at that. Ronaldo gets some points, hopefully, but of course it's going to be tough. But it might be a nice dress rehearsal for the final, if that is Portugal against France. And we've also kept him on, yep. The other player we've kept on is Dumfries. Now, actually, I say kept on. We didn't have Dumfries Matchday 1, but we had him Matchday 2. And Wijnaldum did the bits for us Matchday 1, and then Dumfries kind of took his place, really. So it's a different transfer in, but Dumfries has to be in there for me right now. And you can say what you like, but I just think he's essential. 2 goals in 2 games. He's so attacking. And guess who they face next? North Macedonia, who's going to struggle to score points. It just seems perfect for the clean sheet. It seems perfect for this week and for longer term. I know that they've had a bit of a crisis in the goalkeeping department because Sillerson obviously getting out injured through COVID, or sorry, not able to play, I should say, through COVID. But they've still got a solid defence in there. Despite not having Van Dijk, you back them against these lower teams and against some of the teams later on. So we've gone with Dumfries, but I'm just going to check now to make sure there's no other than Ronaldo and Torres, to make sure there's no other players that we've carried on from Matchday number 1. Yeah, there is actually one other player, and that is in midfield, Domenico Berardi. So we said how it was typical. He gets his assist Matchday 1, love it. He gets another assist Matchday 2. We don't have him for the Limitless, but we've brought him back. Now, you can ask, why go with Berardi over Insigne? The main reason, he's cheaper. And I couldn't afford it. So, alright, Insigne disappointing against Switzerland, but I feel like Berardi's more creative. I can say that Insigne is probably the more clinical finisher, and alright, he gets in good positions. He's their, heartbeat of their team. Right now, Immobile, or Immobile, however you pronounce it, he's actually been getting the key, amount of their goals. But will they risk him against, the Wales team where they're pretty much through? Probably not. They'd maybe look to play Andrea Belotti, or, maybe look to play, a bit of a different back line, Bastoni perhaps, and rest, Spinazzola. So that's why we've not got him in here. So I'm trying to get players that maybe will play, and I think that Domenico Berardi could be one to play. So fingers crossed I get that right, but I think he's a decent player to have long term. And Youri Tielemans is the next one. He's also very decent for this Belgium team. He's not got attack and return yet, but I think the best is yet to come for him. And against Finland, it could be decent. Finland obviously did ride their luck a little bit against Denmark, but then, of course, they got pegged back against Russia. So I think Belgium can really go for that. Yes, of course, Belgium are through, but they'll still want to keep on strong, get their goal difference up, try and top the group. And Tielemans actually, is there one of their starting midfielders? Probably not. So I think De Bruyne does play against Finland because he was benched in the previous one. But Tielemans is still not massively high up on the pecking order for Belgium to start their players. So why not give him a runabout? And if he doesn't play, of course, we've got options on the bench. So yeah, that's our midfield with Locatelli. That's the other one from Italy. Now, Locatelli, obviously, it's a little bit knee-jerk, a little bit assumptuous because we brought in the guy that just scored 2 goals against Switzerland. All right, yeah, fair enough. It's 2 goals, and you can say it's a fluke, but I don't think it was. He was getting in attacking positions a lot. He looks like a constant threat, and I'm not going to say that he's going to do that again because that's almost a one-off match kind of thing, but I still think he's decent, and I think that could be a decent shout in terms of a cheap player who can get in attacking positions and maybe get some points. If not, the clean sheet as a midfielder wouldn't be too bad. Then we have Kevin De Bruyne. So that's our 4 in midfield. Berardi, Tielemans, Locatelli and De Bruyne. So we've gone with Belgium and Italy to make it up. And of course, we know they're through, but I'm just praying those players will play. De Bruyne, I think he will play. And against, Russia, it was very difficult for Belgium to break them down apart from Lukaku. But then you saw in the game against Denmark, when they go a goal behind, they have certainly the squad to have a reaction. And they didn't show that reaction for much of the game. But when they brought on Kevin De Bruyne and Hazard, they looked a different team. And that guy is absolute class. All right, maybe you can say he didn't deserve to win PFA Player of the Year because there was Diaz and Kane and Salah and other contenders who should have done. You should have got the recognition. But this guy is class and he's just so good. He might be on penalties, we don't know. And maybe Lukaku gets a rest in this one. You know, he's played the last two. I just feel like De Bruyne is a mainstay in that team and he could do bits against Finland. So then we've got, after that goal and assist from KDB, I think he could get something similar. Now we talk about the forward line and it's a bit differential, right? Just allow it. But we've gone with fixtures. All right, maybe not with one of them, but certainly with the other. BRUYNE Bolo, he's going to play Turkey. He looks a threat for Switzerland. Why not? I think he's a good little differential pick, and we've got him on the captaincy so far. The reason for that, of course, he plays on the opening day against Turkey of Matchday 3, and all right, day one of a match day, you're always just wishing that you can get that kind of 10-point haul for a player, but against Turkey, who have been defensively really poor, well, I say that. They have been quite good, but they've struggled for goals the other end, so then eventually the pressure tells and the other team score. So I think Embolo was just so good against Wales. He was, all right, quite quiet against Switzerland, but so were the whole team, and I think they can turn it back on in that game. So why not the captaincy? And then we've got Kiev Emor. All right, I'll hold my hands up here. There's no other options, really, for that forward line in the price bracket I wanted. And it's more of a long-term thought, to be honest, with Kiev Emor. He's such a threat for Wales. You know, he's so good at winning headers, getting on the end of crosses. Italy is going to be a pretty impossible fixture. But if they do rest a lot of players, you know, who knows? They could even rest Donnarumma. I don't think they will, but maybe they will. Then you could see a very different Italy team face them. I'd still back them to beat that Wales team because Italy have got such strength and depth. But, you know, Kiev Emor, why not? Think about long term. You got to think that maybe Wales are just, you know, a touching distance away from getting through. And, you know, if you can get points this week, then, you know, it's a bonus really. So we've gone with Kiev Emor. Why not? Then in defence, we've got, along with Dumfries, it's Stefan de Vrij or de Vries. I don't know how you pronounce it, but we've got to target the fixture really. And I think long term, Netherlands defence isn't too bad. And we can always make these free transfers that come into the play into the round of 16, the last 16. But it's a great fixture against North Macedonia, and doubling up on the defence just seems right. We've got Vladimir Kufal as well. Now, that's a bit of a strange one, I guess, but it's the attacking creativity of Kufal that I'm just very tempted with. He looked so good in the game against Scotland. Yeah, all right, in the game against Croatia, they struggled, and Kufal, he had a few chances, to be fair, but it just looks like a player who always gets involved. And we know that England game is going to be big. So, all right, England could be nervous. They could, you know, not score any goals, clean sheet for Kufal, or vice versa. England press onto them. That allows Czech Republic to get down the wide areas and, you know, put them under pressure. And we know Kufal's delivery from that right-hand side is so on point. So we've gone for it, really. But I'm not going to probably keep him long term, especially if Czech Republic, you know, get knocked out in the last 16. But you'd imagine they get through the group, and we know he's got a lot of attacking potential there. So with Harry Kane misfiring, who knows? Even a clean sheet is possible. Then we've got Antonio Rudiger, and I like Rudiger because he shoots from long range, and you never know, he might get one of these in eventually, which gets the additional point for an outside of the box goal. But he's facing Hungary. And I know that Hungary did, of course, shock the world champions with their goal. But you'd imagine Germany will go through that game fairly unscathed. And, yeah, you got to target the fixture, really. Long term, do I want Germany defenders? Maybe. Because, all right, France didn't quite do it. Portugal, we will struggle, I think, with our defence against bigger teams. But this is one of the smaller teams. And I think Germany can have a decent game here. So we've gone with the Chelsea man, Rudiger. And then in goal, we've got Stekelenberg, and it's a bit of a problem, a bit of a dicey one. Now, I mentioned that triple up double up for Netherlands. I now realise it's a triple up for Netherlands because that's how confident I am of a clean sheet versus North Macedonia. Of course, they're going to score Macedonia, but no, hopefully, if all goes well. And, long term, I can see that Netherlands defence doing well. So, Stekelenberg did play pretty well in the last game that he faced with Austria, making a save and getting the clean sheet with Austria. So, all right, why not? Let's see if he can kind of repeat the heroics and hopefully not concede 2 like he did against Ukraine. But I think Stekelenberg, for cheap goalkeepers, there aren't too many better out there. And then on the bench, we've got Unai Simon, because, of course, Spain play late on in the match day. Very good budget option again. If, it is that North Macedonia score, we can always sub on Simon against Slovakia, which provides an interesting chance of a clean sheet. Ronaldo is first on the bench because he's always ready to come on and provide an impact when necessary. But it's France. We know it's a tough fixture, but Ronaldo is Ronaldo. So he's great to have there long term. Serge Gnabry is one of the main kind of number one players I had on the top of my list for this wildcard draft because, against Hungary, Germany are going to go for it. They know that off the back of that Portugal game, they need to win against Hungary. So why not? I think Gnabry is so, explosive and he can be really good going forward. So that's a, decent shout, I think. And then finally, third, Pau Torres. It's a nice fixture versus Slovakia. And if we bring on Simon because we think that Spain will keep a clean sheet, then we could equally do the same for the very dependable and reliable Pau Torres. So that is our lineup locked in. Well, I say locked in. Probably make another transfer in there. If we do, then, I'll look back at it in my Matchday 3 review. But basically, it is pretty much my team settled. And in terms of selection, it's pretty settled because Simon, Ronaldo, Gnabry and Torres all play late on in the match day. So I'll try not to make the same mistake as last time, which is, making the subs before I see the team news. But I like to get my teams out on Twitter and on Instagram beforehand so I don't forget. If you don't follow me already on Instagram, I am Roberto, in no caps, _the_pro. And on Twitter, it's at Roberto Hollis, capital R, capital H, and then 9. So give me a follow there, of course. I'll be posting more content as the official Watford FC juicer for next season from FPL Juice. They're YouTubers and they post lots of content, so check them out. But that is it for me for my fantasy preview and review of Matchday 2, but preview of Matchday 3. The wild card is activated. We need to make the most out of this chip, though. And I feel like with that team, we could do, but let's see. We're doing it straight on the deadline, so I've just got to make my own mind up, really. But let's hope we can get through with this team. Fingers crossed, it's another green arrow after last week's fairly disappointing, but still not bad, 57. Plus Alaba. Jordi Alba. Anyway, see you later. Bye-bye.